Oh, I missed you. There you are.
Imagine a world where regeneration of limbs and organs is possible, where cures to many of the world's major diseases are found, and an overall healthy community. This may seem like something that's part of a futuristic society, but it actually is very near, and can be obtained with the use of embryonic stem cells. Today, I am here to persuade you that stem cells are not unethical, and are actually very beneficial to society, and therefore should be legalized in the United States. As a current pre-med student, I would like to have every ally on my side when it finally comes time for me to diagnose my patients. To begin, let's discuss what stem cells are, how they are formed, and the controversy that regards it. According to Friedrich and Watson, an embryo is created by an egg being fertilized by sperm. This fertilized egg is then called a blastocyte. Inside the blastocyte is something called the inner cell mass, which eventually gives rise to the entire organism. This inner cell mass is what is extracted and is used to create stem lines. There are two ways to acquire these stem lines. One, by in vitro fertilization, which is the fertilization of an egg outside or in vitro of the body. The second would be therapeutic cloning. This includes the nucleus exchange between the patient egg and then the donor egg. The controversy regarding embryonic stem cell lies in the fact that many conservatives believe that when the inner cell mass is removed, we are killing a human being. Jeffrey Hart argues that this is not the case, because at this point, the human being is not resembled in the embryo in any way, shape, or form. Also, scientists usually use IVF, in vitro fertilization, to obtain their eggs. These eggs would have been wasted regardless, and according to Andrew Huff, almost 1.7 million eggs are wasted each year because they are not used for IVF. This picture here says the formation of stem cells, where in vitro fertilization occurs, the formation of the blastocyte, and where the inner cell mass is removed and then used to create the stem cells. The current ban on the stem cell is actually hurting the United States more than it is helping it. Gershon talks about the loss of intelligence that has occurred in the United States due to this process. Many of our top scientists and researchers have traveled abroad to countries that allow this research, and because of this, it could be very detrimental to our society in terms of technology. Another detrimental effect would be the loss of life that is occurring because this research has the ability to help thousands of individuals, but it currently is unable to do so. To prevent this loss of thousands of lives, a very simple solution could be put in place. Simply legalize stem cells. Providing government funding will help remove the stigma that is currently attached with embryonic stem cells. This extra government funding will also enable scientists to go on and research more and actually create use out of these stem cells. A middle ground must be found to appease both the scientists and the conservatives that argue about this process. To appease the scientists, simply legalizing stem cells will help this issue. To somehow pacify the conservatives, a law can be put in place where scientists are not allowed to actively go out and fertilize an embryo cell, fertilize an egg, just to destroy it later on, but instead must use IVF cells. Now that the basics are known about stem cells, looking at the benefits will surely persuade you that embryonic stem cell is not unethical, but rather very beneficial. The Mayo Health Clinic discusses the benefits that regard medically. The first would be regenerative medicine. In this way, patients can take cells from their own body and use them to make organs, which they can then go on and use them in organ transplants. This would increase the rate of organ transplants, success rates of organ transplants infinitely. Because of this process, the body would no longer see the organ that is coming in as foreign, but rather it will see it as self and will not attack it. This picture also talks about countless other benefits that could be used to, such as baldness, blindness, deafness, Alzheimer's disease, and Parkinson's disease. Second medically related benefit is the testing of new drugs. When new drugs are set on the market, it has the potential to have unforeseeable side effects. With the use of embryonic stem cells, these unseen side effects can greatly be reduced. Thirdly, A greater understanding of many of the diseases, such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, can be achieved. With this greater understanding, researchers will have the power and tools available to finally find cures and put an end to these diseases. A benefit to society of the United States would be the pride and recognition that could follow. Paralleling back to the Cold War, the United States was against the Soviet Union to put the first man on the moon. When the United States finally achieved this, they were looked at with awe and inspiration by the whole world. If the United States were to find cures to something like cancer, this awe and inspiration would once again be followed. A monetary gain can also occur for the United States. According to Aaron Levine, California is currently funding privately for its stem cells, and they are projected to earn $6.4 to $12.6 billion. Imagine what this can translate into the entire country of the United States. These earnings are from the lower healthcare needed for citizens because they are actually just in a more healthy state. This decrease in healthcare needed by citizens will decrease the economic strain that is currently put on the United States, and it could give us a major economic success. If these benefits do not persuade you enough to allow stem cell research, I hope the moral duty to have the ability to save and change countless of lives does. With the information that keeping the ban on the United States actually hurts the US more than it helps, the fact that there's a middle ground solution to appease both the scientists and conservatives, and that the legalizing of stem cells will give the United States economic benefits as well as benefits to society, I implore you to think better of stem cells and remove the stigma that is currently attached. In a world with so much pain and suffering, the slightest chance to alleviate this pain should be taken. Enabling scientists to research and have the ability to prevent loss of both young and old lives will save the tears of many families who will lose their loved ones. Thank you for watching, and I hope this persuaded you to think otherwise.